2, 1, and just get my butt to my room where I do my recordings. I have then, quickly I would pull out, the material, the writing pad, and then I find myself in the mode of being ready to create that content and perhaps do some recording sometimes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 allows you to almost hijack and take over your conscious mind so that you can just make the right decision. I'm not going to call it, the wrong decision to chill out and watch some TV because I don't want anybody to feel guilted. But, of the two choices, if I'm running behind on my episodes, I think it's probably better for me. And of course, we're kind of looking at it from like a stress level, right? Isn't it better to actually get ahead or back on track with, the things that you have set out to do than to play catch up later because you wanted to seek some TV chill out time right now, right? I mean, there's always consequences to whatever choices we make, right? And this is definitely one of them, right? So absolutely make use. I mean, I would challenge you guys to do that today. Just make use of this 5-second rule and see if it works for you. Basically, if you are faced with two choices, one that, you got to do at some point in time anyway, right? Whatever that activity is, or that homework, or that job or project or deadline, tackle it. But in order for you to be able to tackle it and overcome, your sense of wanting to seek pleasure instead of the pain that might be to do more work, then I would recommend, you implementing this 5-second rule and just choose to do it. Like if you hijack your prefrontal cortex and you get yourself right there, right then, I'm thinking that you probably will get that done. All right. So the second thing that I have noticed that I've done, in the past and now, so this is like me actually, as I'm writing the book, I'm recalling all the different things that I used to do to get me to where I am today. And one of those things was patience. I really developed patience with myself, patience with the list of things I wanted to complete, and with all the things I wanted to accomplish in my life. I am one of those crazy people that just is so on task, maybe a little too overboard sometimes, but I am just I push, right? And, that's a story for another day, because I really think being so push has really landed me where I was at the age of 18. Sometimes you push too hard and your health suffers and you don't give enough time to recharge, right? So patience is how I would, sort of approach this side of things. And how I do that is by giving myself some reflection time. And what I mean by that is if you have a journal, which I've always had the habit of writing in a journal, and it doesn't have to be something formal, right? So I talk about our journal all the time. So break out your journal, right? And use about 30 minutes a day, right? To actually reflect on your day, reflect on your week, and see if there are any patterns of thought, any patterns of behavior that you might want to improve upon. Because a lot of times, if you take the time to reflect on these thoughts and behaviors, you can most likely identify it and you can tweak it so that it works for you and not against you. So this one is super simple. You take out a journal, do some reflecting on your life at every aspect, right? So in your relationship, have you been patient with yourself? Have you been patient with those around you, with your loved ones, with maybe your coworkers as well, at work, any aspect of your life that would be of value to reflect upon, That's where you want to go. So take it from this one perspective of being patient with yourself, being patient with others, patience, 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 and reflect upon it. That's the activity. And last but not least, this is something that it's a principle I live by. And, I remember the darkest days, when I was 18. I remember they were difficult. They were difficult because I really, like, whenever I would come under the spell of that one cycle, once to 2 to 3 times a month, 4 or 5 days at a time. I mean, if you think about it, that pretty much takes over your entire life. And if you can't do anything in your day but to be in constant pain, be in nauseating dizziness and vomiting, like everything you've ingested, like I don't even know how to go back to those days. It's so far from my life now that I'm just like, it's like watching a movie. And I remember the days where I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, today's a good day. Today's a really good day. Because it's like, that gray cloud has been lifted off of you miraculously. I say, those days are miracles for me. And I don't know. I don't know what, back in the day, I didn't know what the triggers were, and I didn't know when the good days were going to come. But when they did come, oh my God, you guys, I made the best of them. And one of the things that I did on those great days was I always made sure I'd have a good time and that I would use laughter. And I would bring laughter to every single person that I encountered that day, because I was feeling so overjoyed and happy with having a one good day. You know what I mean? So, add a little laughter to every day that you are feeling great, that you are feeling joy, because then that will multiply for you, and it'll lighten up the mood for you. Because another way to do it is, when you're going through something stressful, you can ask yourself, what's funny about this, right? What can be funny about this, and then take sort of like a third person perspective and go, what's funny about this? What can be funny about this? So for example, if your kids are driving you up the wazoo and you just are like at the tip of your, sort of like limit there. And if you actually try this, ask yourself, what's funny about this situation? And I've done this before. That's why I can say this. It's really powerful, because it takes you out of that situation where you're fuming. And if you ask what's funny about this, for somebody who's a bystander and they're looking at the situation, it kind of puts things into perspective. Because at the end of the day, you love your children, right? You love your spouse. You love, the people around you. So why would you hold any grudges or get pissed off at them or, have any ill feelings about them? And that's why I say use laughter. Use laughter to kind of, sort of unfreeze the frozen, silence. And let's move on. Let's move on with our lives. Because at the end of the day, why would we want to go to bed angry? Which is another principle of mine, actually. That'll be a bonus one for you guys. Never go to bed angry with the other person, with your children, with anybody. Because at the end of the day, if you are begrudged when you go to bed, I guarantee you're not going to have a good night's sleep. right? And if you don't have a good night's sleep, it's like, a vicious cycle. If you don't have a good night's sleep, you're going to wake up with a bad mood, right? And if you have a bad mood, you're going to take that with you wherever you go, whether it's grocery shopping or into work with you, or, to go pick up your kids, or maybe you run into like, terrible traffic. Like, it is a bad cycle moving forward. So don't go to bed angry. Try to resolve whatever it is. Use a little laughter to dissolve the tension. It really does work. I'm telling you guys, and honestly, I'm going to challenge you to implement this and make use of it. All these three simple techniques have worked magic for my life. I mean, just imagine I came from living a drowning life, in constant pain, to now, like, there is no semblance of what my life was like back then to what it is like today. Like, it is completely black and white. It's so far away. I can't even imagine, it's like two different lives. But to get to where I am today, these were three very, very important little techniques that I had to use. And that really helped me out. So I certainly hope that it will help you guys out too. All right, Healthy Wisdomers, if you enjoyed this first episode of our new series and are ready to take back control of your life, I'd like you to hop on over to my Patreon page and pick a membership tier. With a small contribution, you will unlock the remainder episodes of this 5-part series so you can start taking action right now to make changes towards living a healthier, happier life. I'm so excited for the opportunity to connect with each of you. This is the Healthy Wisdom Series with Dr. Jen Chen. I'll catch you guys next week.